Hello there, everyone. Hope all of you guys are enjoying having an amazing Friday night. Hope all is good. Hope all is well. So, what would you guys like to talk about? Of course, other than the massive disappointment that was Supergirl. Now, you guys can check out my review I did for the movie on my channel. It is now up. Released it last night as soon as I got home from the theater. But yeah, for being the second movie in the new James Gunn DC universe, it was extremely disappointing. And I know I forgot to mention it. Yeah, that's how forgettable the villain was that I literally forgot to mention him in my review. He was an absolute nothing villain. Cream, whatever the hell his name was. And even that felt very Guardians of the Galaxy, like the whole space pirates thing. It's like, are you seriously stealing from the Ravagers from Guardians of the Galaxy 2? Okay, James, whatever. Yes, I know James Gunn himself didn't direct the movie, but I bet he told the guy that did direct it, hey, make it look like Guardians of the Galaxy. And that's exactly what happened. I forgot to mention this as well, but they have they even have the whole like Mad Max Fury Road type of, the characters obviously from Mad Max, the Mad Max movies that are on the big trucks and tanks. Yeah, they literally copied that as well. So much about that movie, man. Just made no sense at all. As someone that has seen so many comic book movies in his lifetime, heck, I grew up in the 2000s. The early X-Men movies and the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies were my era of growing up when it comes to superhero comic book movies. I don't know, maybe it's just the fact that I've seen so much of it done extremely like better than what Supergirl brought. Even the action scenes were just, again, it just feels like the same old tiring person flies around in a cape and shoots shoots laser beams out of their eyes. Again, even the action felt nothing to write home about. And I can't believe I'm even going to say this, but the second movie in the MCU, The Incredible Hulk, yeah, compare that to Supergirl, you at least remember the awesome Hulk scenes. You at least remember the final battle with Hulk and Abomination at the end of the movie. You at least remember all the great action scenes of Hulk taking the military's tanks and throwing them and hurling them, and you're like, yeah. You at least remember the Incredible Hulk. way better movie than, than the second movie in this new DC universe. Even the whole thing of the little girl in the movie, Ruthie, wanting to get revenge for her family's death, even that, we have seen that played out so much. And heck, I bet even the dang writers knew that the villain was a weak villain, so they have Supergirl to straight up kill him. Yeah, that's right. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen the movie. Don't worry though. I'm actually doing you all a favor by saving you all some time because man, after the dang good success that Superman was last year, this movie is going to fail at the box office. Especially by the time we get to the end of next month, Spider-Man coming out, it's definitely going to eat crow at the box office. Supergirl. Plus, I actually have, excitement level for Spider-Man. Plus, even the whole plot point of Crypto being poisoned, you know that they're not going to kill off Crypto. Therefore, there's not really much huge emotional weight to it. Because you know they're not going to kill off Crypto. So you're like, okay, well, then what was the point of. Then what was the point of the bad guy poisoning him then? It. See what I mean? It makes no sense whatsoever. And the whole thing as well with the planet with the green sun, it's like, yes, I get it. Your weakness is kryptonite, but do we really need a dang green sun to visualize this? What's next? A brown sun? A black sun? There you go. The black sun. Oh wait, that's a solar eclipse in real life. That was also kind of dumb. Again, I get it, your weakness is kryptonite, but did we really need a damn green sun to visualize that? Might as well be the dang disappointment of disappointing color of, I don't know, gray. That's what your sun should be colored. Because that's how I felt walking out of the movie. Nothing but disappointment. which just gets me even more excited for Clayface because at least that actually looks different and something that I haven't seen before in the comic book superhero movie genre within DC. Well, I know a lot of you guys are probably going to say, well, what about Joker? We've already seen the solo villain movie without their hero. Well, yeah, but Clayface actually looks like a horror movie. Yeah, I know, huh? Which is my favorite genre in film, period. I know, huh? A horror movie within the DC universe. Based off of what we got from the first teaser, anyway. I hope and pray that that's good. I'm probably not even going to bother myself watching the Lantern show. And I'm sure most people won't. Especially if you're also disappointed in Supergirl like I was. And again, the needle drop music references, again, it felt way too much like Guardians of the Galaxy. And the movie didn't even have good needle drop songs. At least with Guardians, you at least know the and remember the needle drop songs. I so badly, though, just want July 31st and Spider Man to get here as soon as it possibly can because just to watch the disappointing taste of Supergirl that I have out of my mouth. Please. Oh, wait a minute. That's right. Within a few weeks, Evil Dead Burn will be released, and hopefully that movie washes the disappointing taste I have for Supergirl out of my mouth. I mean, it's crazy. Scream 7 and now Supergirl. Two movies that I was looking forward to, and both times left the theater crushingly disappointment. Scream 7, I will say, more so disappointed. Than with this, because at least with Scream 7, there's a lot more. There was actually a lot to talk about regarding that movie and how bad the killer reveal was, especially at the end of Scream 7. Even a movie that I haven't seen, like Scary Movie 6, even that movie, a lot of people I trust within the YouTube space said that either that movie was also a massive disappointment, or some people walked out of the movie absolutely hating Scary Movie 6. I don't know. I mean, I want to go see Scary Movie 6, but because I know I haven't yet seen Scary Movie 6 and I want to, but sometimes you just don't want to waste your time with some movies that you either within your YouTube community space you trust people that say this movie was a massive disappointment. Though
Alexander, here's just some shitty.
I'm gonna let my actually, you know what? Since I know not to, let me. Yeah, I figured I should do this. Why not eat my food while I stream and talk to you guys? But anyway, back to what I was saying. You guys know that feeling, right? Of a lot of people within your YouTube space that say that say like a movie is either a massive disappointment or complete garbage. Why do you think why I decided to skip out on Strangers chapters 2 and 3? Yeah, exactly. Because not only did the first Strangers chapter 1 movie sucked, but a lot of people within the YouTube community said that Strangers chapters 2 and 3 sucked, and so I didn't even bother wasting my time with those movies. Or a movie is a massive disappointment like Scary Movie 6, and you don't even bother. Because sometimes when it comes to either a bad or a disappointing movie, sometimes you just don't want to waste your time on it. Of course, sometimes, not all the time. Of course, you do want to get your reviews out for a movie that is god awful or a movie that is a disappointment, like Supergirl. Or, of course, the other disappointment that I had this year with Scream 7. Mm, 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 mm. Yeah, I know I normally don't eat while I stream and talk to you guys, but I figured, hey, why not? It's a chill, cool, amazing Friday evening. Let's just hang out and chill and talk. Hell yeah. Mm, mm, So what do you guys have to say to me in the chat? But yeah, Supergirl, massive disappointment overall. But yeah, though, there really wasn't much else to spoil, really. Really not much of anything to spoil. But of course, you guys know with Spider-Man. When that movie comes out next month, of course I'm going to do my spoiler-free review, my spoiler review, and then I'll do a ranking of all 4 MCU Tom Holland Spider-Man movies. That's what I'll do when that movie comes out. I'm gonna... And when Evil Dead Burn comes out in a few weeks, I'm gonna do my review of that movie, and I do plan to do a ranking of all the Evil Dead movies. For sure. I'll of course do my ranking the day after I see the movie and do my review for Evil Dead Burn. But of course, if you guys do want to go see Supergirl, you should at least go see it for Jason Momoa Lobo's performance. Because Jason Momoa nailed Lobo. He did an amazing job. And of course, the actress that played Supergirl, Millie Alcock. Definitely see it for those 2 things alone. But other than that, you can pretty much skip this one and wait for HBO Max so you can stream it at home. Because there's not really anything like big, shocking, surprising in this movie that you haven't seen done better in other movies like Guardians of the Galaxy. This is delicious. Some stroganoff. Really good stuff. Heck, I can't believe I'm even going to say this, but the second movie within the previous DC universe, Batman vs. Superman, yeah, give me that movie. With Jesse Eisenberg's terrible acting as his version of Lex Luthor over Supergirl. That's right. I said it. Because at least Ben Affleck's Batman is awesome. At least Henry Cavill's Superman, he did a good job. At least you have that badass Batman warehouse fight scene in Batman vs. Superman. And that scene is more memorable. It's more awesome than anything in Supergirl. Same thing with the second movie in the MCU, The Incredible Hulk. Way more memorable scenes. Rest in peace, William Hurt, who played General Ross in The Incredible Hulk. And it's not that they can't make a good female-led superhero movie. Look at the first Wonder Woman that came out in 2017. Yeah, exactly. Clearly, they know how to make a good female-led superhero movie. But some of them just haven't really been that well received. Captain Marvel, the Black Widow movie we got in 2021, which I thought sucked. William Driver, 1959. Hey, buddy, how are ya? What's up? Oh, not much, man. Just hanging out here tonight on this amazing Friday evening. Saw Supergirl last night, did my review. Thought it was a massive disappointment. Massive disappointment. In fact, I even titled it Supergirl 2026 movie review, a super letdown. Because that's what it was, a super letdown, in my personal opinion. But yeah, glad that you're here, buddy. Glad that you're here, pal. But don't worry, though. In a few weeks, Evil Dead Burn will come out, which is literally the week after next. So, good movies are hopefully on the horizon for this year. Please, Evil Dead Burn, please be good. Please be good and get the disappointing taste that I have of Supergirl out of my mouth. Please. I'm done with superhero movies. I didn't like the last Superman either. Whoa! Damn, buddy. Hey, I don't blame you. I understand. I'm not done with superhero movies. I actually did like Superman from last year. I really enjoyed that movie. That was one of my favorites of last year. One of my favorite movies. And of course, I'm looking forward to Spider-Man. Spider-Man Brand New Day, which comes out the tail end of next month. I can't wait to review that movie. And of course, do my ranking for all 4 MCU Spider-Man movies, since we will have 4. But yeah, I left Supergirl, massive disappointment. But don't worry though, in 2 weeks, we got Evil Dead Burn coming out, and I can't wait to see Evil Dead Burn. Hopefully that's good, and hopefully that movie washes the disappointing taste of Supergirl out of my mouth. Same thing with Spider-Man Brand New Day. I am kind of excited for the Batman 2. Hey, same here, buddy. I'm also looking forward to the Batman Part 2. I really loved the first Matt Reeves Batman movie. Like, really loved it. That was a really good movie, and I can't wait to see the Batman Part 2. They are doing Two-Face, literally played by Sebastian Stan. Yes, Winter Soldier himself is going to be playing Two-Face. How awesome is that? We still don't know yet if he's just going to be regular Harvey Dent for the whole movie, or if we are going to get Two-Face or we might get Two-Face in the third act of the movie. Who knows? Not really sure how all that's going to go down. But yeah, man, can't wait for the Batman Part 2. Did you ever... Oh, thanks for the question, buddy. Did you ever finish Resident Evil Requiem? If so, what did you think? Buddy, Resident Evil Requiem is the freaking video game of the year. Of the year so far. Resident Evil Requiem was awesome. Go check out my full in-depth review that I have on my YouTube channel. If you want my full in-depth thoughts on the game. But yeah, to sum it up though, Resident Evil Requiem, game of the year, the survival horror, the action, the mystery of what's going on in the care center, what's going on with Raccoon City, how does this all tie in? All of that was really great, especially on your first gameplay playthrough of the game, which took me about 48 streams in order for me to finish the game. But definitely check out all of my 48 live playthroughs that I did of the game on my YouTube channel as well as my review of the game. But yeah, for Resident Evil Requiem being my first ever Resident Evil video game experience, I am freaking hooked, and I cannot wait to play Resident Evil Veronica when it comes out next year. I'm so excited for that game. Of course, all the different zombies, the fact that they had personality, that was really cool, like the one Shevka zombie going, next. Today's ingredients. They absolutely nailed both the first and third person perspective. Although it did take me a while to get used to the first person aspect because this was my first ever video game experiencing the first person aspect, and I'm so used to the third person over the shoulder camera style of perspective. But once you do get used to the first person perspective, it's really enjoyable. Of course, the item management, that was very well done in the game. The fact that you really have to navigate exactly where, like what items do you keep while leaving other ones behind? And of course, the action side of the game is freaking awesome as Leon. It is so incredibly awesome. I mean, taking out enemies with your hatchet or stomping them into the walls and shooting them with the amount of guns you have, from your handgun to the Requiem Magnum shotgun to your machine gun. All of that was very well done. The two main bad guys of the game, I did mention this in my review of the game, but the two bad guys of the game, Victor Gideon and Zeno, it did feel like Victor was more of a henchman villain while Zeno was the one pulling all the strings. And then just to find out that once Victor returns at the end of the game, and you think that he died after the motorcycle stunt sequence in the game, and then when Victor comes up, he literally shows back up as well out of nowhere and kills Zeno, and it's like, well, damn, I thought you would get a big fight with Zeno at the end as well, but no, it's just with Victor. Victor/Nemesis, which that was a great way to end the game. Still a really great way to end the game, but I do kind of wish that you got a full legit fight with Zeno. Just like you did with Victor. I mean, that would have been pretty cool. I mean, yeah, I was shocked that Victor killed him, but I was still like, damn, okay. You might like Alien Isolation. Game is creepy as you move along. Yeah, I still haven't really played Alien Isolation yet, because I do know that the sequel is coming out sometime next year. But yeah, though, my most anticipated video game of next year is Resident Evil Veronica. I even did a reaction to the reveal trailer that they did at Game Fest. So definitely check out my reaction to the Resident Evil Veronica reveal trailer that they did at Game Fest. And then, of course, the girl stalker enemy. That is one terrifying bitch, let me just say. That is one scary ass bitch. But yeah, no, I absolutely loved the care center setting as well. Very creepy, very atmospheric setting. Of course, all the different boss fights in the game, from Chunk to the Spider boss fight to the Hunk boss fight, to the part where it literally does kind of feel like Call of Duty, where you have to kill the actual main soldier enemies of the game, the BSAA soldiers that are just the regular humans and not BSAA zombies. That was cool. Albeit I died quite a few times during that section of the game, but it was still fun. And then the commander boss fight was a ton of fun as well. The fact that you just mainly had to use your melee weapon, which is your hatchet, on him, That was really cool, and I beat him within a few seconds. See, there's just so much about Requiem that I did enjoy. Like I said, go check out my review that I have for the game on my YouTube channel. You'll love all of my in-depth thoughts of the game. The one section that I did not like at all was the part where you had to play as the clone girl Chloe, and you have to hide from the creepy children because you can't fight back against them, and you literally have to wait 3 minutes until they go away just for you. Just so you can keep on going with your objective during that segment. That is by far the weakest segment of the game. Plus the other mystery as well of like what's exactly going on with these clone girls like Emily and Chloe. Is Grace a clone? I know a lot of people were thinking about that. But of course it turns out it's not. She wasn't a clone, and the whole thing as well with the guy of Elliot Spencer being the one that took her in and then gave her to her mother was a little bit confusing, but I do like the journey that she was on about how the game had a really great story about grief and redemption, whether it be Grace's grief for her not being able to save her mother, or of course Leon's grief that he wasn't able to save other people throughout some of the other games, I guess. And of course, I didn't catch all the different references because, like I said, Resident Evil Requiem was my first ever Resident Evil experience, so I didn't really necessarily catch all the different references, Easter eggs. Of course, I do know the characters' names because I have seen other people talking about the game, so I did know of Mr. X, and my god, that Mr. X Tyrant boss fight, that was so freaking cool. I swear, like, Mr. X was like the dang Hulk, where you was literally throwing cars at you during the boss fight, and you have to hide behind other cars, and I pretty much just kept on shooting Mr. X with my rifle until he was down, which that was really cool and awesome. Just so many things about that game I loved. Despite some of my frustrations, I didn't like the fact that there was so much backtracking in the game. Yes, I know the Resident Evil DNA is part of the whole backtracking, unlocking certain stuff to get certain items that you need and all that stuff. Plus, I didn't really care for the fact that you have to look on your map constantly just to know where the heck you're even going. That kind of got annoying after a while. But still, even with those little nitpicks aside, the game was awesome. Absolutely loved it. Video game of the year so far. Controller. Yep. And of course the combat with Leon during his sections of the game were really cool. I absolutely loved as well the motorcycle bit, where you got to shoot the zombie dogs. That part was really cool as well. Despite you really not being able to control the motorcycle itself, it was still really cool that you got to whip out your machine gun and go boom on the zombie dogs. That part was still awesome, the motorcycle bit, especially when he drove the motorcycle up the building and pretty much did a did the Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning stunt on the motorcycle, and then it goes phew, and then lands on the other building. You're like, yeah. And all the one-liners that they gave Leon in the game, I laughed at every single one of them. Every single one was hilarious. Like when he said, let me guess, you must be the town lumberjack. Like, that was funny. Or, of course, you had the badass moment at the end after I fought Victor/Nemesis of him saying, this time, you ain't getting back up. And then, pow! You're like, yeah, Leon, you're such a freaking badass. Leon's a badass. Resident Evil 7 is the first one that introduced first person. I do believe you'll love it. But yeah, though, I'm now officially happy that I have now officially indoctrinated myself into the Resident Evil game series. In fact, it just makes me even more pissed that at those Paul W.S. Anderson Resident Evil movies, because those crappy movies didn't have the... Yeah, I know they were much more going for the action side, but there was no survival horror to speak of in those Paul W.S. Anderson Resident Evil movies. Let's be real. But I'm extremely looking forward to Zach Cregger's Resident Evil movie that's coming out this September. Hopefully, that movie ends up being really good. Hopefully, Zach Cregger's Resident Evil movie that's coming out this September ends up being really good. Like, really good. Please be good. Please be good. But I have a strong high hopes that it will be good. As far as my next game, of course, I will be playing the Wolverine game when that game releases this September. Can't wait to stream that on my channel. And whenever we get Resident Evil Veronica next year, who knows, it might be sometime, maybe in January or February, because Resident Evil Requiem released on February 27th, so I think they might do a similar release date for Veronica next year. But yeah, I can't wait to stream that game when it releases next year for you guys on my channel. I would say, though, the hardest boss fight in the game is definitely the plant monster. That was definitely the hardest boss fight of the game, was the plant monster. Because it was pretty dark in that section, obviously, with it being a underground section. I couldn't really, I didn't really exactly know what I was supposed to do. Well, I mean, I know what I was supposed to do, but it was hard to see because the area was so dang dark that I couldn't see. But hey, though, even with that plant boss fight was still awesome as well, even though that was probably the hardest boss fight in the game for me. Although maybe on the other hand, I will say maybe it's a good thing that we didn't have a big epic final fight with Xeno, because that guy can freaking teleport like Nightcrawler or something from X-Men. I'll be right back, guys. I'm gonna go put my bowl in the sink. I'm back. I thought it was really cool as well that you can grab the chainsaw. Of course, after you shoot the zombie, you have to wait for the chainsaw to stop spinning. Then you can grab it and you feel like Ash from Evil Dead. You're just mowing down zombies with the chainsaw. And then you get a chainsaw and chainsaw duel with another zombie. You're like, yeah, this. You know what I mean? And you're like, come on, you want to be Leatherface? You know, from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But yeah, that was awesome. It was really cool as well that you're able to collect the enemy's blood during the gray sections with the, so you can craft an injector that'll blow an enemy up, kind of like the first Blade movie, or like as if they're a vampire. And of course, the singing sister zombies were really creepy, especially with their oh, like opera singing music. That was really creepy that was really creepy, and it'll get under your skin for sure. Imagine if in a Resident Evil movie you run into you see two zombies making out or something. That would be even creepier. Like imagine that, like you're playing a Resident Evil game and you see two enemies making out. That'd be weird, even creepier. But with that though, I love you guys. Take care.